Doing, lads? Coach Tregs here from 30 Plus Men's Fitness. Hope you're all having a great day, and I'm here today with this video from the gym with, I think it's day 6 or day 7, I don't know, I'll have to check back through, but it doesn't matter. So it's day 6 or 7 of my 30 days of fuel, just trying to cut through the BS, give you lots of applicable information which is going to help you get energy, lose fat, get fitter, sleep better, and generally help you function better as a busy over 30s man in the trenches with kids, careers, and sometimes life feels overwhelming. So I'm hoping I can help you out here. So today I want to talk about carbohydrates, okay? You could listen to 100 different trainers, then they're going to give you their own take on them. But before I get into it, remember that I am dealing predominantly with over 30s men who are lacking in energy, who want to lose weight. I don't train bodybuilders, or I don't train athletes. Well, having said that, quite a lot of my 30 plus boot camp guys and some of my online clients, they could be called athletes because they're fucking awesome. But generally, I'm helping you guys to lose weight safely and give you energy. All right, so you might hear different things from different people. This is my take on it, and it's just to help you, okay? So carbohydrates, you've often heard that people say, all right, the quickest way to lose weight is to cut carbs. And yes, if you cut carbohydrate, you will lose weight quite quickly. But the problem is, guys, the problem is when you drop carbohydrate, Bill, I'll see you next week, buddy, all right? When you drop carbohydrate, all right, guys, it's not sustainable. So I want you to understand that, first and foremost, the brain, this thing here, is the most glucose-hungry organ in the body. So carbohydrate is turned into glucose, okay, when you eat it, and then kept in our glycogen store and then in our muscles. But the brain is glucose hungry. So have you ever gone no carb for like 3 or 4 days, and yeah, you've lost a ton of weight, but by day 4 you are fucking all over the place thinking what's going on? You feel dizzy, you feel hungry, and basically when you do eat some carbs, or you just end up binging. All right, that's because of you've basically deprived your brain of its primary source of energy. Okay, it's what say primary source, it's glucose hungry. Okay, the brain also needs fat, but that's for another video. So if you go completely no carb, then basically it's a recipe for disaster. So like I said to you, I generally help guys that want to lose fat. Now there's this thing that carbs are the devil, carbs are evil. Well, that's not really the case. People get fat eating carbohydrate because, and wait for it, they eat far too many, they eat them at the wrong times, and they eat them when doing fuck all exercise, all right? So I quite like this phrase. I've heard it many a time, and it's earn your carbs. Again, people would disagree with me, but frankly, I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to give you guys some no BS information to help you, like I keep saying, all right? So most guys are eating way too many carbs, they're eating way too many the wrong time. They're not doing any exercise, okay? So in order to earn your carbs, you want to be training, and you want to be training good 3 or 4 times a week, and training smart using the 30 plus principles, which we encourage: resistance training, kettlebell training, interval training. You can find all that kind of information on my site at www.30plusmensfitness.com. And when we talk about carbohydrate, just in case that you don't know what carbs are, we're talking about things like potatoes, rice, pasta, oats, just to name but a few. You know, fruits are also good source of carbohydrates. But you know, most people are eating, you know, 3 large portions of carbohydrates a day, and they're not doing any training. Well, you're going to get fat. Okay, unfortunately, you're going to get fat because it actually doesn't take up too much to fill up our glycogen stores. All right, guys. So you imagine this, right? Your glycogen store, which is your carbohydrate store, is like a petrol tank, right? So if you're going to drive your car 100 miles, you need to put some fuel in it, right? But if you're not driving it anywhere, then it doesn't need fuel, and it's the same with your body. All right, your body only really needs a certain amount of carbohydrate to keep your brain happy, keep your body happy. But the problem is that people just absolutely bash the carbohydrate. They're eating way too much in all their meals. Okay, guys. So what I recommend, that if you are looking to drop timber, all right, guys, is basically base your carbohydrate in and around your training. Okay, so hang on a sec. So if you're not training of a certain day, okay, guys, then, you know, really you can get through the day on quite a high protein diet, lots of vegetables, and also some good sources of fat. We're going to do a talk about fat and saturated fat again in another video, but don't be afraid to, you know, cooking things like coconut oil, add olive oil to your salads and your stir fry and things like that. maybe get in like a half an avocado or something like that if you are on a particularly, if you're on a non-training day and you're on a lower carb day when you don't really need to be banging in excess carbohydrates. On training days, you may go for one of two options. I always say get your carbohydrates in and around your training. So let's say you were training at 11 a.m. and you're up at 7 and you think, yeah, I've got a big weight session coming up. You might want to get some oats in the morning, okay? Again, this is down to your personal preference. And then post-workout, you might want to get something like a sweet potato and then keep the rest of your meals based around greens and proteins, okay, guys? So you can see on your training days when you need the fuel the most, you can get it in and around your training. Now, I like training around about 11 o'clock. But I like training fasted. I like to have some BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. Again, that's another video. And that helps me get through my workout, and then I get my carbs post-workout. So that works best for me. All right, so I would do my weightlifting or some interval training, and then I would go and get some sweet potato with some chicken and with some veg, for example. It doesn't have to be as boring as that. But here's the thing, guys, if you're not currently doing a lot of training, you don't really need to go eating a lot of starchy carbohydrate, okay, guys? So base your carbohydrate in and around your training. If you're not doing a lot of training, why don't you try switching your diet to more vegetables, okay? And yeah, you can get some greens in at breakfast. Up your protein, so I'm talking about like get, an omelette in you, some eggs. Eggs aren't bad, another video again. Some good quality meat, nuts, poultry. All right, up your protein and up your greens intake, right? And you will find that you will drop a lot of timber, but don't ignore the carbs, all right? Just get them in and around your training. And when you're not training and your diet is a little bit more sort of greens and protein, simply up your fats. That could be a handful of nuts a day. That could be half an avocado. That could be cooking a little bit of coconut oil. Whatever you do, and listen carefully when I say this, do not go low carb, low fat. That is a recipe for fucking disaster, all right? Because you're just going to have no energy. You might drop timber, but then you're just going to end up binging. So if you go very, very low carb, just up your fats a little bit, and you'll feel great. And if you're training, you make sure you get your carbohydrates in and around your training. Like I said, you can have some oats in the morning, sweet potato post-workout. You might train fasted, and then you might go for some turkey and rice post-workout, okay? And just watch those portion sizes again, guys, all right? So one of the reasons I got really fat in my 20s was because basically my diet was based around a lot of carbs. I wasn't doing any strength training, just doing long distance after long distance after long distance run, which I covered in yesterday's video, why that wasn't helping me get lean. And my evening meal every night would be like brown bread, fucking maybe some potatoes and a fuckload of pasta because I thought it was healthy. Actually, I was putting a ton load of carbohydrates into my body, and I wasn't even really earning that through, physical exercise or really demanding exercise, and then I was going to sleep. So I didn't need that energy really overnight, and I was waking up feeling chubby, fucking bloated and lethargic. So I'd take my weight loss tablet, have a can of Red Bull, put on a bin bag, and go for another fucking run. Like, listen, guys, I made so many mistakes, and I don't want you guys to, okay? So, gosh, approaching 8 minutes 30 on this video now. So listen, guys, okay, if you're looking to drop timber, just watch your carbohydrate intake. Don't cut carbs out altogether. You need your carbs, but earn your carbs. Get them in and around your training. On non-training days, up your greens, slightly up your fats, and keep your protein high. And you will see that you're going to drop the timber, but you're going to have energy. Okay, guys, remember, just because you want to lose weight does not mean you have to lack in energy. That's complete bollocks. Okay, guys, you don't need to diet. You don't need to really